check this out. New package alert, 4 45-pound plates. Excuse the mess of the home gym. But as of before these came in, all I had was one pair of 45s, 25s. I had 3 of them. I had 2 10s, 2 5s, 2 2.5s, and then like these gray weights that go on that easy bar right there, and then my adjustable dumbbells. But beforehand, I was limited with the amount of weight that I could lift. Oh, I have this like 6-in-1 cable attachment, leg extension, chest fly, chest press, top cable attachment that I can load as much as I want. But beforehand, when it comes to like free weight movements with my rack, I was limited to only 220 pounds that I could throw on the bar. So now with the addition of 4 extra 45-pound plates, now the strength can really start going up. Because I was getting to the point where I'm taking 220 with bench, squat, and deadlift. With deadlift, I'm repping that shit out for like 25 reps. With bench, I'm doing sets of like 10, 12, 15 sometimes. And with squat, I'm doing upwards of 30 reps with 225. And considering the fact that one of the other goals that I have set for myself physically is by the end of the year hitting 315 bench, 405 squat, and a 500-pound deadlift, these additions, these extra 4 45-pound plates are going to be absolutely perfect in order to do so.
I'm gonna make this weight my...
Olha só, me aponto treta, tu nunca prestou atenção. Olha o bico do fuzil, vai tomar só rajadão. Vai, toma, 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 vai, toma rajadão.
Olha o bico do fuzil, tu nunca prestou atenção.
Vai, toma, 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 vai, toma rajadão.
Olha o bico do fuzil, tu nunca prestou atenção. Olha só, me aponto treta, tu nunca prestou atenção. Olha o bico do fuzil, vai tomar só rajadão. Vai, toma rajadão, vai tomar só rajadão. Olha o bico do fuzil, tu nunca prestou atenção.
Vai, toma, 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 vai, toma rajadão.
Olha o bico do fuzil, tu nunca prestou atenção.
Oh, it never gets easier. Also, in addition to those packages, I went to the store today since today's my day off, and I got some UFC gloves that I can use for my bag that you saw down there. I have traditional boxing gloves, but honestly, I just bought these because they were cheap and just to switch up the pace a little bit in case I ever get bored of using the 16-ounce gloves. And then I also got like this clip-on colorful ring light shit. It looks gay, I know, but I need something sturdy to set in the car because as of late, I don't know if you guys know this, but this has been the fucking tripod that I've been using to record everything for the past like almost year, basically. And don't get me wrong, it's done its job. And the fact that it was only $6, you can't fucking beat it. But with that being said, I need something sturdy for the car so that every time I make a turn, my tripod doesn't slide across my front dash. So I bought something like this. I don't know if it's going to work yet, but the next segment that we're going to cut to is me driving in the car and yapping some bit. And boy, do I have a good topic for you today. So it looks like this thing's working pretty well. Also, Stim of the day, Arctic Frost Gorilla Mind. What you guys will find out is that I'm an absolute Stim whore. I consume enough caffeine every single day, probably to kill a small child. If it's under a gram, something's wrong. But like I said, the talk that I want to have with you guys today is a good one. And it is the greatest question that you could ever ask, not only to yourself, but to anyone in the world. And it is the question of why. If you can figure out why not only you do something, but why other people do things as well, not only will you benefit from it, but they will benefit from it as well. Every party will benefit as a result of asking the question of why. And I'll give you an example. It ties into every single aspect of your life, but I'll tie it into specifically training and business. So for example, when it comes to training, I personally coach one-on-one a couple of clients, and I absolutely love this. And it's honestly the reason that I got this idea is because they always ask me questions. Is this fucking shaking? But my clients, they constantly ask me questions. And when I say questions, not even just in the sense of like, what do I need to do? Like, not even like that, because that's basic questions. When I give them something to implement, They always ask me, like, why are we doing this? Like, what if we do this instead? Like, what if I try this, do this, implement this, take this out? And I love that because both parties learn from that as a result of that, like I said. Because I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly getting different perspectives of things that I could do that would help them, that's also going to help me with other people that I inevitably work with, and it's going to help them as well because they're going to be building their knowledge base, because eventually it's going to get to a point where they're not going to need to work with me. They're already going to have a basic level of foundation of knowledge, not only about just fitness and health in general, but about themselves, which is the most important thing. They're going to know exactly what they individually need to do in order to get a result that they want. And that's what it's all about, is asking the question of why. When it comes to business, when I first started hopping from business model to business model, I've done a lot of different business models until I've inevitably got to this point. And I never asked myself the question why I was going into those business models. But now, hindsight being 2020, I understand why. And it was because I just wanted to make money as fast as possible. And that mentality going into it of choosing your business model solely being because you want to try and make money as fast as possible, that is just not how it works. When it comes to business, specifically building an online business for yourself, it's going to take time. You're going to have to eat shit for a long time. And even with this, for example, content creation, like I've been posting for well over a year now. I had a streak where I was going every single day for over 300 days straight, and I barely have over 1,000 followers. Now, don't get me wrong. There are the anomalies out there that amass hundreds of thousands of followers within their first year, but those cases are where they go for virality. I don't really chase virality. I'm here to just show you me. And the people that enjoy that along the way and follow along this journey, stick around. Like, those are the people that I'm attracting. I'm not trying to go viral. If one of them goes viral, absolutely, I will love that. I will take that shit every day of the week. But that's not what I'm optimizing for. That's not what I'm going for. I hate the word optimize, by the way, and the word balance. But that's besides the point. Ask the question why. Ask yourself the question why. And any situation that you find yourself in where you can ask that question of why someone is doing something or why you are doing a particular activity, you are going to learn so much about yourself, one, and two, you're going to find out so much about other people. Because I was an introvert for the majority of my life. And I studied human behavior, human characteristics, human movements, common patterns that people would do, common ways that people would speak, certain ways that they would speak. And it was because I was such an introvert and I wanted to fit in for so long in my life that I would study these people and I would be like, okay, let me just act like them to fit in with this group. Let me act like this person to fit in with this group. And before you know it, I lost myself. I lost myself. I didn't even know who I was at that point. And it's taken me multiple years to honestly figure out who the fuck I actually am. And now I've gotten to the point where this is kind of embarrassing to admit, but it's taken me 24 years to figure it out. And honestly, it's only been the past, I would say, 2 to 3 months of my life where I've genuinely operated at the most truest and authentic version of myself. And you will hear people all the time say, oh, I don't give a fuck about what people think. But there's no substance behind that term. When I say that I genuinely don't give a fuck about what other people think about me, I mean it. I mean it in the sense that I am going to do what I want to do. I'm going to say what I want to say, and I'm going to say it how I want to say it. I'm not going to water something down. I'm not going to sugarcoat something for you. I'm not going to say it in a way that's not going to hurt your feelings. No, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And a lot of people nowadays, they tell you what you want to hear. They don't tell you what you need to hear. And it's created such a soft culture of people who just beat around the bush and they avoid the problems in their life, that if they were to just look themselves in the mirror and ask themselves the question of why and be brutally honest about it, they would genuinely make so much faster progress in every single aspect of their life if they just did that one thing. And it was about 3 months ago when I had that conversation with myself. I looked myself in the mirror one day and I said, why are you here? Why? What is your purpose? What is your mission? Why do you do the things that you do on a day-to-day basis? And I started going down the rabbit hole. This was a long time. Like, this genuinely, I was staring myself in the bathroom mirror for a solid over an hour. And I went down the rabbit hole of every single aspect of my life of why I did everything. And I came to that conclusion. And when I came to that conclusion, I realized that I'm here for impact. I'm not here just to look good and make money. I know the name of the series is Jacked and Rich, but those are pieces of the puzzle. That is not the grand scheme of things. That is not the bigger picture. The bigger picture is impact. The bigger picture is showing you what it's like to literally become a master, achieve mastery in every single aspect of your life that matters the most to you. And in the pursuit of that, you will achieve the life that you want. Now, don't get me wrong. You're not going to enjoy every step of that process. A lot of people say it's about the journey, not the destination, and you have to love the process and all this bullshit. No, you don't have to. It goes against what a lot of people think, but you don't have to enjoy the process. As long as you enjoy what the process gives you as a result of it, then you're going to be fine. You're going to do it. Because if you want it bad enough, I know you hear that a lot as well. If you truly want it bad enough, you're going to do what is required. If you don't have the physique that you want right now, but you say you do, you just don't want it bad enough. You would put down the fork. You would pick up the fork if you want to gain weight. You would be in the gym longer. You would train harder. You would go to failure more often. You would do more sets. You would do more reps. You would try to get better sleep. But you don't. That's why you don't have the physique that you want. In business, if you want to make more money, you would try more things. You would try and post more content. You would try different lead generations. You would try posting different formats and building different offers. You would do all of these different things in order to figure out the one question that started this entire rant, which is why? Why are you doing it? Why are you trying to implement all of these things? It's because the first thing didn't work out. The second thing probably is not going to work out. The third thing's probably not going to work out. But the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, however long it takes, you will get there eventually. I don't see failure as failure. Failure is only true failure when you give up. And I will never give up. You'll have to fucking kill me before I give up on something. That's just how I'm wired. So every single time that other people see something of mine and they think that I've failed, it's not failure, it's just another attempt. It's just my first attempt. It's just my fifth attempt. It's just my 10th attempt. But other people don't see it like that. They see it as, oh, you didn't do that. Well, yeah, but I learned from it. I know it's a corny lesson that says you never fail, you always learn, but it's true to a certain degree. You always learn as a result of failure. And if you keep stacking those failures, if you have the balls to genuinely not care what other people think and constantly ask yourself the question why you do things, and you continuously try more and more things as a result of those answers that asking the question why gives you, on a long enough time frame, you will achieve whatever you want. It truly is simple as that. But yeah, that is it for that little rant. Currently, I am driving to the title office because I have to get this car that I'm driving right now into my name, and I have to switch the titles out because this car currently isn't in my name. I switched cars from my old car. If you guys have been following the channel for a while, I was driving a 2011 Chevy Cruze. This car is a 2014 GMC Terrain, which is a bit of a fucking unit, honestly, compared to what I'm used to driving. I'm used to driving smaller cars. Before the Cruze, I had a 99 Grand Prix, fucking 6-cylinder. Oh my God, I love that car. I wish I never got rid of that car, but unfortunately I had to because I got hit by a drunk driver back in January of 2021, I think, something like that. Car got totaled, I ended up giving it to my uncle because my uncle's a mechanic, so he ended up fixing it up and selling it. And then I got the Cruze replacement of it. And then the Cruze was just fucking nickel and diming me the entire time that I've had it. And I just got to a point where I'm like, I'm sick of this thing. So I found this. I got a really good deal on it. So I figured I might as well take it, and it's gonna last me a lot longer than the Cruise will, and it's gonna get me from point A to point B. I don't really care what car I'm driving right now. Like, that's another thing that a lot of people like to do, is show off their materialistic shit. Now, don't get me wrong. Will I have the watches? Yes. Will I have the nice house and the compound? Yes. Will I have the cars? Yes. Will I probably fly private? Yeah, to save time. But it's not going to be from a sense to where you guys are going to see my social media one day just cars and planes and jets and houses and women and all this. Like, that's never going to be me, because that's not who I am at heart. And it all comes back to the question that you have to ask yourself. Why? I'm telling you, it is the most important question you could ever ask yourself, is why? Why do I like this girl? Why am I training this way? Why am I eating this way? Why am I working on this business model? Why do I want money so much? Why do I, like, literally, why everything? Why everything? That is literally what it comes down to. Ask yourself the question why, and you will find the answers to everything that you are looking for. And then at that point, it becomes a matter of just you doing the work. Once you find out why, the path will illuminate, and then at that point it just becomes down to you of whether or not that you want to put in the effort, put in the time, and put in the intention and the intensity and the level of effort that is required in order to get that result that you want.
Na fonte dos tu casa